What is up, you gorgeous, fabulous creatures, and welcome to No BS Weight Loss. I am so excited to have you here for another week. This is our maybe second episode back in for the new year. I'm really super pumped and really excited. And to everybody who's been listening and downloading, if you think that I'm just sitting back here and not watching y'all, I'm watching. Like, I'm checking the downloads, and I'm so pumped and excited that I think we're nearly at 3,500 downloads now, which is tremendous for me, because I literally thought, who's going to listen to this? Like, who's going to care? But so the fact that you're out there and you're sharing and tagging, to everybody who's doing that, you have the gratitude of my heart. I am so honestly grateful and really pumped and excited that this is out there and it's serving you. And what I want to talk about today is something so massive, because I thought we're still in the whole new year, new me vibe, right? And I spoke about this last week, that new year, new me is not really top of my priority list. What I much prefer is new year, same me, but better. Like, because hello, you don't magically become a different person on January 1st. It's new year, same me, but better. We're ready to evolve and ramp it up this year. So I thought, what can I share with you today that's really going to help you, considering that we're still in January and we're still in that vibe of, I still got time, I can still make changes, because pretty much we've all fucked up. Like, let's be real, it's January. We think we're going to do amazing things come Jan 1st, and we usually, we want to, of course we want to, but we usually don't nail it every single time. So we're still in the vibe in this first month of all things are possible for the one who believes. And I want to give you three things. It's not a fancy way of articulating it, is it? But three things that if you can implement even just one of these over the coming year, it's going to take you a whole lot further than you just trying to make changes on your own. Now, I will also say here that I'm really, really pumped and excited to let you know that I have, you may not care, but I have finally found a mic pod or a pod mic that I'm super pumped and excited to be able to use moving forward. Because up until now, I've been using a microphone that I've got. It's a Yeti. It's not very good. I'm not raining on anybody's Yeti parade, but I'm just saying, for the programs that I use and what we're using here, it is not effective at all. And in fact, I just get a better audio talking straight to the iPhone here. So I am talking straight again this week into the iPhone, but as of next week, fingers crossed, if this thing arrives in the mail, then we will have a proper broadcasting apparatus that I'm really hoping will give you the auditory experience that you deserve. And on top of that, I've ordered a really cool office chair so I can swivel around. I'm really going to be in my groove this year. And there's you can't stop me. I've got the equipment, I've got the vibe, it's all going on. I will also say that before we dive into the three things this week, you might have noticed, if you're watching me on Insta, that I've joined a gym. Girl, I've joined the gym and I am really loving it, really loving it. Today is the first day that I haven't been yet. I will go, because I've been every single day for nearly the full 2 weeks now since I joined. I have not missed a day, and I've been working my little ass off, right? Because I've gained weight pretty much since COVID, but I've gained weight most especially since I had, and for some of you, you may be familiar with this, and I would love, oh my God, please, if you have experience in this area, please DM me, because I want to know how this has worked for you. I had a Marina installed, an IUD, a Marina, last year, probably 12 months ago now. And in that 12 months, I have gained such an astronomical amount of weight. I reckon 10 kilos. It might not be, because I didn't take a starting weight. It might be 6, 7, or 8, but it's truly getting up there, and I'm very uncomfortable and I'm not feeling good. So I've done a lot of research about it, and I've finally decided to have it removed. I don't need it for contraception, first of all, because of my age, but secondly, because Phil's had the snip, so we don't need it for contraceptive reasons, but it was more for hormonal balancing reasons that I had it implanted. But it's just been such a fucking nightmare. I will say it definitely helped with the irregular periods that I was experiencing, because they were a whole level of hell in itself. My poor little uterus was just a brothel. It just didn't know what it was doing, and it was horrendous. It's definitely helped with that. But honestly, the weight gain has been so disheartening that I really don't give a shit anymore. I'm like, you can bleed till the cows come home. I'm getting this device out. So I've made an appointment this morning with my gyno, having it removed in about a week. I'm going to keep you all updated as to how that plays out, because I'm hoping, fingers are like double, triple cross, that runs smoothly, because I have some other people have told me some nightmare stories about how that can roll. I'm like, no, putting that out to the universe, all the good juju vibes, that's going to go really well. So I'm having that removed, and I'm going to take you along on that journey just to see, does that do what I'm hoping that it's going to do as far as weight reduction goes? And let me be, upfront and clear with you, because I've done the research. I've been online again this morning, like researching different forums and blogs. It's not that, what I'm expecting anyway, is not that once you get it removed, then suddenly you just become a skinny mini and your life is fabulous. I don't think it's like that. I think once that weight is on, it's on. But what it allows you to do, the removal will allow you to actually lose the weight. So let me just mute the computer. That's so annoying when I forget to mute the computer. Once it's removed, then from what I've read and the research that I've done, you will now be able to, or I will now be able to lose the weight, because right now, like you see me online, I'm working like a fucking beast at this gym, and not 1 inch is my body giving me. It's not throwing me any bone at all. It's like, throw me a bone. It is like, woman, you're going to be like this forever. And I'm like, you can go. Seriously, you fuck that shit. I will not go down without a fight. So this is the other avenue that I'm taking. And I know there's going to be other factors involved. I get it. I'm not 17, right? My age is going to be a factor. Diet, I feel like I do eat really good. Most of you know me, like I am plant-based most of the time. I try to eat a high raw diet. Like my diet's really good. With that being said, I'm not depriving myself of chocolate, cake, chips, cookies, ice cream by any means. But the amount that I eat, considering I had 1 ice cream last night in the last 2 weeks, should not be impeding the weight loss to the way that it currently is. Like nothing is happening. So Phil and I had a chat about it, and I said, I don't need this thing in. Like, let's get it the fuck out of my body. And I'll let you know. I'm really interested. Please, if any of you have had this experience, please hit me up on social and let me know what it was like for you, because like I said, fingers, toes, everything's fucking crossed that this is the reason that there is zero weight shifting from my body. So let's dive in. As I give you that little side tidbit into my life, let's dive into today's topic, which is 3 things that you can implement really, really easily to help you move forward this year with your personal weight loss journey. Removing a contraceptive method is definitely not on the list. But the first one is to understand that your physical reality is nothing more than a manifestation of the thoughts that are going on in your head. Whatever your internal conversation is like is what you are going to see outside of you. And my gym story from a minute ago is a perfect example, to be honest. I have been working my ass off. I am not seeing any result, not even 1 gram of weight is my body releasing at this point. I could start getting really down about that, because let's look at this realistically. That's in no way normal. That is not normal. For you to be working hard, like in any kind, let's put it this way. For you to be expending huge amounts of energy, eating in a reasonable manner and making sure that you're following the eating codes. Oh, please. If you have never listened to my episode on the eating codes, you need to even put this one on pause, honestly, because the eating code episode is the bomb. It's the 5 eating codes that I've followed my whole entire life. I used it to lose 20 kilos initially, and it's what does keep the weight off. So you can use it for weight loss and then also for maintenance. That's episode number 56 in the podcast. So scoot on back there, or save that episode for later, because you're going to want to re-listen to it several times to really get it in your head. It's not complex by any means. The first of the eating codes is don't eat if you're fucking not hungry. Well, I mean, I'm sure that I don't swear. That's not actually the code. The code is don't eat if you're not hungry. Please, people. If you're not hungry, don't eat. And if you are hungry, you eat. It's like, that is the first of the codes. They're so simple, but there's 5 of them. And the last one, the 5th one, is the one that is the real game changer. That's the one that will absolutely be the needle mover in your life. So there's 5 eating codes. It's episode number 56 in the podcast. Scoot back and save that one, download it so that you can listen to it offline as well. And once you do listen to it again, please send me a DM. I would love to hear your feedback on that. But when we're talking that your entire life is a physical manifestation of the conversations that are going on in your head, I could at this point start getting really down about my particular weight loss woes. And I would in the past. Oh my God, please. In the past, because the conversations have already started popping up in my head this morning, most apparently this morning, because I'm almost at that full 14-day mark. And the conversations are like, what's the fucking point? This isn't working. Like we start getting really desperate, and then we start thinking, if this isn't working, what is the point? I might as well eat. And don't think for 1 second, just because I've been in this game now for well over 30 years, don't think that those thoughts don't pop in my head. I was gonna say, don't think that I don't think that way. Of course I fucking think that way. It's a normal reaction to not getting the response that's equivalent to the output that you're giving, right? I'm putting in a lot of effort to a particular activity and working towards a goal, but I am not getting any return. It's not to say that if I kept at this for 3 months that I wouldn't see a result. I'm sure I probably would, but it's not normal for a body to take 3 months before it loses 100 grams or something like that. There's clearly something else going on. And this is when it comes down to the eating codes as well. Episode number 56, people. This is the same when it comes down to the eating codes. If you are following those eating codes, because a lot of you, I know, a lot of my listeners, you've worked with me before, you've done programs with me before, and you've followed the eating codes. If there's only 3 reasons, and this is what prompted me to trigger the marina removal, because if you follow the eating codes, there's only 3 reasons why they would not be working. First of all, you're just not following them at all, right? You're not doing them. Secondly, you're doing the ones that you like and they're not doing the ones that you don't. So for instance, you might like to not eat if you're not hungry and just go, that's no problem for me. But the 3rd eating code is stopping when you're satisfied and not stuffed. And you might have a real problem with stopping before you feel really full, like really, really full, stretchy pants full. Like if that's you might be following all the eating codes to like a T, but you're not following that 3rd one, which is eating to satisfied and not stuffed. And so you're not seeing results. Or the 3rd reason, if you're following the eating codes and the 3rd reason, and you're not seeing results, the 3rd reason is because there's potentially some kind of a medical or hormonal issue that you might need to look into, because the eating codes fucking work. They work because they're common sense, right? Don't eat when you're hungry and eat when you are. The 2nd eating code is, and please, again, I'm just going to run through them like in 1 second, but get them all in episode 56. The 2nd eating code is deciding what it is that you want to eat. You think, okay, I'm hungry now. I've waited till I'm hungry. Do you want to eat a whole case of Krispy Kremes? Is that what you actually want? Because that's what your head is going to tell you want. But what does your body want? What is it that you've committed to eating for the day? The 3rd eating code is, again, like not eating past the point of satisfaction, like learning what that feels like for you, not eating until you need to put stretchy pants on. The 4th eating code, it talks about tuning into what you're actually eating and not using food as a way to tune out of your life, which is emotional eating, really. And the 5th eating code, which has always been my favorite, and I know you're not supposed to have favorite children, but it's totally my favorite, is act like the person you want to become. I can't believe I nearly forgot my code because it's the best one. The 5th one is act like the person you want to become. When all else fails and you think to yourself, I can't remember what she said, something about eating at a certain time and eat when you're hungry, don't eat, I can't remember. All you have to do is tune into eating code number 5. Act like the person you want to become. Does the woman that you want to be and intend to be and are working towards being, would she fucking stuff her face with Krispy Kremes and just because she had a bad day, or because she was working her ass off in the gym and wasn't seeing any changes yet? Would she? Or would she be resolved in her, like, would she resolve to find out what the issue actually is? What is the problem? Is there a roadblock? Is there in fact a roadblock at all? Or is it just that it's going to take a little longer than she might like it to take? Like that particular woman, the one who's got her shit together, she knows who she is and what she stands for. She has very clear fucking boundaries about what she will tolerate and what she won't tolerate. Wait a second. both from other people and from her damn self. She won't take shit from anybody else, and certainly not from herself. Like, go eat the donuts, eat the Krispy Kremes. I don't eat the fucking Krispy Kremes. I've got a goal, I've got a dream, I've got a vision, and I'm working towards it. I'm not gonna sabotage my own damn self with a thought that came from my own stupid head. What the hell is that about? No. So that's a very quick overview of the eating codes, but we scoot on back to the first tool that you can use today in your arsenal of toolery for this brand new year is to understand that your life is a manifestation, truly, of the conversations that are going on in your head. If you want a better quality of life, get a fucking better quality of conversation going on in your head. I was not today going to tolerate the thought of diving face first into the pantry and like eating. I can't even tell you what's in there right now because the little kitty winks are over here for the weekend. And so Phil has bought banana bread, hot cross buns, croissants. Like, it's a bread fest in there, please. It's a carb fest in my pantry. Like, I can look in there now. There's about 4 different varieties of potato chips. There's all the things that I mentioned before, plus a huge array of chocolates. There was a time when I literally couldn't keep that sort of food in the house. I couldn't, because I felt like I couldn't control myself. That is not an issue for me anymore for several reasons. One, because I followed the eating codes and I released myself from that really restrictive deprivation, those sorts of thoughts when it comes to food. And secondly, because I wanted a better quality of life and existence more than I wanted to eat a croissant in the moment. One of the biggest statements that really helped me through that tunnel and to come out the other side of that was to remind myself so when we talk about eating code number 5 and acting like the person you want to become, you have to remind yourself of who it is that you want to be. And one of the fastest, most effective ways that I've ever found to do that is to ask yourself, well, don't ask yourself. Well, yes, okay. Start by asking yourself who it is that you want to be. Get that shit down on paper. Write it out and get very fucking clear. And once that is done, then all you need to do moving forward in your life is to tell yourself, I'm the type of person who. Or even more effectively, I'm the type of woman who. Like, don't worry about the person. Person is too like blah average. We're not basic. We're fabulous. I'm the type of woman who. So if I had the thought now this morning, like when I still am not seeing not 1 gram, people, not 1 gram of weight loss. And my thoughts are starting to be like, this sucks. This is ridiculous. What's going on? This isn't working. You should just go and eat. I remind myself, but I'm the type of woman who will not give up on her goals, will not deviate from the outcome that I want for myself, will not settle for less than I have set my mind on. I'm the type of woman who. So I would encourage you to put that as a little reminder on your phone, let it pop up until you feel that you don't need it anymore. But that's where I would suggest starting. Now, secondly, the second point that I will share with you today is to remember, oh my God, just remind yourself, human beings are not wired for self-control. We're not wired for self-control. In fact, we're wired to take the path of least resistance. When it comes to anything, so like today, again, this gym example is coming in very fucking useful, isn't it? Okay. Been to the gym, full 2 weeks, not seeing a damn inch of weight loss. Okay, fine. I'm not stuffing my face. It's not like I'm eating on the down low and being some kind of crazed animal with food. The results should equal the output at this stage, but they're not. I could now think to myself, well, fuck this, it's not working, and then go and eat. That would be the path of least resistance. That would be me just being wired, as we are, for the comfortable route. But here's what you want to tell yourself, and here's what I've told myself this morning. Like, because this is what we start doing. This is so hard. This is so hard. I'm putting in all this work and all this effort, and this is so hard. This is what I tell myself. It's not hard, please. Going to the gym is not hard. It's just different. Eating some different foods is not hard. It's just different. Making different meal choices and choices for your movement is not hard. It's just different. You're going to get swept away by whatever story you tell yourself. So you better fucking start telling yourself a better quality of story if you want to get a better quality of output. Ask yourself, is it hard because it's actually fucking hard? Or is it hard because of the shit ass stories that you're telling yourself? Because on that, I will say that our need to protect ourselves from pain, which is a normal human need, our need to protect ourselves from pain is 99.9% of the time the reasons why you're actually in pain. Your need to keep eating when you know that you're full and you've had enough because you don't want to be uncomfortable. I want to keep eating. I don't want to say no to myself. Well, that's the reason now why you're still struggling with your weight. You trying to alleviate this little speck of pain over in the corner has now caused you a fucking massive haystack of pain over here on the other side of the room. Pick your fucking pain. And as I say, not painful, just different. It's just different. When it's time to say no to yourself, and it will be time eventually, we have to say no. We have to cut the cords. We have to say no. At some point, you have to say no. And if you don't want to, you really don't want to, or maybe you haven't even started eating yet, but you feel like you just want to stuff your face, like you've had this really bad day or something really traumatic has happened, or you've got some bad news, or maybe you've got some really good news and you just want to stuff your face and eat, but you know it's not right. It's not going to end well. It's only going to end up in some kind of crazy ass binge and you're going to regret it, right? We know up front. This doesn't come as a fucking surprise, people. Before you go into some kind of crazy eating pattern, you already know up front that this isn't going to end well. Don't come at me and pretend that it doesn't. You always know up front. Or at the very least, very least, after a few mouthfuls in. You can feel it as you start to lose control. You can feel that and you damn well know. So ask yourself, if I'm not going to eat now, if I'm going to say no to myself, even just for 5 minutes, you don't have to say no to everything for all of eternity. If I'm going to say no just for 5 minutes, what would I have to think about, feel, or face that I don't feel ready or prepared to be able to face? That's the real key. You don't want to stuff your face because you want to fucking stuff your face. We're not dicks, right? You don't want to stuff your face because you just enjoy feeling like an out of control asshole. What is with the language? This is extra colorful language today. You don't want to stuff your face because you enjoy feeling like a fucking fat loser. No, you want to stuff your face because there is something else that you would have to cope with, deal with, or face or feel, and you don't feel capable of doing that. But I guarantee you, if you just peel back the fucking layers of the Snickers bar, peel back the layer, whatever it is that you're trying to escape from with food, it's really, I promise you, 99.9% of the time, it's not that bad. And not only that, I can say to you with full assurance, it's not going to kill you. Okay, third step for you to carry forward now from January and moving into the new year is to really get and understand, please understand, that the majority of your weight loss, isn't going to come from what do I start doing? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do and I'll do it so that I can lose weight. No. Your weight loss is going to come from what do I stop doing? How about we stop the bullshit self-talk? How about we stop the deprecating self-talk? How about we stop putting things off? How about we stop telling ourselves this is going to be so hard? How about we stop telling ourselves, I don't want to feel deprived. I don't want to eat salad. How about we stop avoiding taking any movement? Close the damn rings on your watch. How about we stop complaining, avoiding, confusing ourselves, how about we stop looking for quick fucking fixes that don't exist? Your weight loss, give yourself the gift of time. Emotional eating, for a start, takes time to look at, deal with, heal, let go of, however you want to verbalize it. Give yourself the gift of time. You want your weight loss to be permanent, not just pretty. Trying to circumvent the process and scoot your way around there via some shortcut method because you think that's going to cause you less pain in the long run. I can't even talk right now because that's such a stupid thought. We all know it's stupid because we've all done it before. We've taken the shortcuts. We've done the fucking Herbalives. We've replaced our food with milkshakes. We've done everything. We've done everything. If you're listening to this podcast, I guarantee you've fucking done everything to try and lose weight, just like I did, and get there in a way that's quicker than taking the normal, healthy, positive, results-driven path. But nah, not you. You got to be out there looking for some short-ass shortcut so that you can get there quicker because you think, I'm going to save myself pain. But no, what happens is you get there and is the weight loss permanent? Please tell me, did the weight loss drip from your thighs and never haunt your booty again? No. I can't even. I literally just can't even with that comment. Of course, it doesn't. It's not permanent. You want your weight loss to be permanent, not just pretty. Give yourself the gift of time this year. Let it take as long as it needs to take. And that's what I'm doing when we circle all the way back to how this story started. If I remove that Marina and not 1 ounce of fat still leaves my body, then I'm going to need to look further. Sure, maybe there is a different hormonal imbalance. That may be the case, and I can certainly look into that. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to have to move my ass for longer, not longer in the gym, longer, give myself the gift of time. I'm going to have to dedicate myself to this for longer than a 3, 6 or 12 month period. Maybe for my particular body type, it might take a couple of years because of all the fuckery that I've given myself, this body, over the years with the different diets that I've tried. Maybe this is just a reaction to all of that. It doesn't matter. And let me just say, I will say this with all honesty from the bottom of my heart. If my body doesn't lose 1 gram of fat, I will continue to treat it with respect and work out and move my body in a positive way every day because I enjoy it for me and I want to do it for me, not because I'm trying to scooch fat off of my body. So with all of that being said, I want to thank you so much to everybody who has joined me here today. I feel like this was a really good, positive, truthful, uplifting episode because it's always, I find, uplifting to see behind the curtain of somebody else's life that it often looks like we all have our shit together, but nobody has their shit together. Quite frankly, none of us really know exactly what we're doing. We are all just trying to muddle through. So if you have any questions about today's episode or you want to share your story, please do. Don't be afraid to DM me. DM me over on Insta or Facebook. I don't see the messages on Facebook very good. So please find me on Insta. That's where I'm always hanging out. And as always, please remember, the only person who has the power to change your life is you. When you step up, and I really commend you for taking the time to level up your skills by listening to this podcast, taking advice from the people who you know have been there before you, looking to better yourself in all aspects. And that's what this is really about. When you take those insights and use them in your life, it truly is when you've got what it takes. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I cannot wait to see you all again next week. Until then, my friends, bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to kyliepax.com/free course and sign up for my free weight loss training so you can start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources in my past podcasts that will help you lose your weight without the BS diet drama. I'll see you next week.